Hey guys, it's Iskamar. So today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated upcoming MMOs of 2016. And first up, we got Revelation Online. Now, I'm not going to sit here and really explain every mechanic of the game. So if you're coming here to find out exactly what the game is, this isn't really the place. I'll go ahead and put a link in the video to where you need to go to find out more information. Now, what I am going to do is I'm explaining why I'm anticipating this game and why it's on my radar. Now, first of all, MMOs aren't really in the best place right now. Specifically, Western MMOs, they're not really doing so well. Not many AAA development teams are making any games to be excited about. Though there has been one that has been announced, but I'm not going to talk about that right now because it's so far off. I'm only going to talk about what's relevant to this year and early next year. So, first game's Revelation Online. Why am I excited about it? I wouldn't necessarily say I'm excited about it. The game, it has a lot of different content. As far as PvE, on the PvE side, you have a open, seamless world. You got a pretty much typical questing system for an Asian game. Um, it's not really holding to the Asian standards. Supposedly, from what I hear, you do most of your leveling through quests and dungeons. So you've got your dungeons, your 5 mans, you got your varying difficulties. You've got 10-man raids, and then I think I heard that there's a 20-man raid as well. And then on the PvP side, they got all kinds of different content. You got open world PvP. You have castle sieges and stuff similar to Lineage. You've got a MOBA map. You have, I think 20 versus 20s and 10v10s. Then you got arenas that are 3v3 and 1v1. So as far as this game goes, I wouldn't say I'm super excited, but I am a little optimistic about it. I'm not the biggest fan of Asian MMOs. No offense to you that like those games. For the most part, the reason why I don't traditionally enjoy Asian MMOs isn't necessarily about the grind, because in a lot of cases and some of these Western games, I would actually rather grind my levels if it's efficient rather than go through all these shitty quest systems that these games design. But the reason why I typically don't like Asian MMOs is because the character progression. I feel like most Asian MMOs have very crappy build systems. There's not a lot of interesting ways to progress your character in a lot of these games. There's not really interesting talent systems or skill augmentation for the most part. But I think Revelation Online is supposed, from what I've seen, now I may be completely wrong, but from what I've seen, it seems like it's going to be different in that department. There's a lot of different ways to augment your character, and yeah, it may, as far as progression goes, it may lean towards the grindy side. I'm not sure yet. I haven't done enough digging. But as far as just the pure progression goes, it looks like there's a lot of different ways to build your character and make your character play. Now, what makes me excited about this game, to be honest, is just troll factor. A year ago, I saw some trailers out of China, and I saw a class. It was called the Sum. I think it's a summoner class, and I think it's called like the Spirit Shaper or something like that. And I saw the male version of it, and this class is so fucking troll. You got the male version, he's just a feminine motherfucker prancing around and shit, and he's throwing dolphins out at motherfuckers. That is just, that's so cool to me because I love to troll people, and I really will get a kick out of being out in the open world and fucking motherfuckers up with some prancing motherfucker throwing dolphins at people. So that may sound stupid as fuck to you, but that's the kind of cynical view I have towards the MMO market these days, is that I get excited about some stupid shit because for the most part there really isn't a game that's solid enough to excite me just based on being a great game. It's like I gotta find some other motivations to get me excited about it. But that being said, Revelations Online could definitely end up being a decent MMO. I suspect that it'll at least be good to play at launch. That's that's all I aim for these days. If I can get a month or 2 months, 3 months out of it, get some joy, PvPing, killing people, trolling, that's good enough for me. So that's where I'm at. That's my expectation level of MMOs today, and that's the most I expect out of Revelation Online. There might be a lot more factors that'll interest you and other people. You might be interested in different factors of the game, but for me, that's what excites me about it. Now, the second MMO on my list kind of came out of nowhere and has a lot of shock factor to it. I hope that this is the surprise MMO that comes out and shocks the fuck out of all of us and is actually a solid game, and that is Dark and Light. There's not much information out about it. There's not really any gameplay. They did release the trailer, which is supposed to be gameplay, but who knows? They could have doctored it up. But so there was this MMO. I think it was back in 2004, so it was being in development. It's called Dark and Light. It launched, and a lot of the ideas were kind of too maybe far ahead of its time. That's what I've read so far. I'm not sure. I didn't play it. I didn't check it out. But the game ended up crashing and burning. I think it. I think there was an attempt to relaunch it again in 2008 or something like that. But long story short, Snell Games bought it out, and they've been developing it in secret for a while now. And I kind of like this because right now we're in an era that MMOs and mini games are going with the whole early access model to where everyone and their mom gets to test the game. Everyone and their mom knows about the game. They get to buy in, and it's like they're trying to launch the game early and get people to buy early and ship an incomplete product. And I do not like this model. I don't think we've seen better products because of this model. I may be wrong, but just judging most of the projects that try to sell you early access, they're not. There isn't really anything that indicates that this has really helped games in general. And then for the most part, I'm pretty put off by that business model. I like traditional testing. I like a more sealed lip approach to it. I like that this game is being developed more old school. Now, as far as the game itself, it's supposed to be some open world sandbox game. It's supposed to have some survival elements to it, and that could end up creating some tedious gameplay. So, I mean, I know that the survival genre is something that a lot of people enjoy, but for me with an MMO, I mean, I could see it going really bad if it's really overbearing and tedious to like have to feed yourself and live that way. Now, if it's something that just that adds some good gameplay, but it's not too overbearing, then I'll probably be fine with it. But what I've seen of it, as far as the gameplay, the gameplay we've seen, the game looks beautiful. On Unreal Engine 4, it looks really beautiful. Now, I'm not a person that graphics are everything to. That's not overly important to me. I'd rather have a game with just solid, tight, readable animations and good gameplay. But at the same time, the game is fucking beautiful. The gameplay systems sound pretty cool so far. There's a lot of I guess territory control. There's 3 factions. You come into the world. You start in a city, and there's no class restrictions. You build your character up, and I mean, there's not really much concrete information out there, but from what we've heard is you just learn different types of abilities and train your character in that way. Now, I did see in a recent interview with one of the devs that there's not going to be a traditional healing system. It's going to be more supportive healing with CCs and other augmentations. Now, that itself can be good or bad. I'm not a fan of the old school complete fire hose healing systems, but at the same time, I'm not a fan of what we got oppose that. I feel like we went from over here to over here. Like developers reacted too hard on Fire Hose healing and created systems to where we have really bland healing and bland support characters. So I do like interesting healing. I don't like you being able to completely Fire Hose heal someone, but I think that healing is good. I think that healing is a good mechanic to have, and I like having healers if they're designed right. So that can end up being a bad thing, but the game itself is more actiony, and I do like more action combat rather than the just traditional complete tab target combat. But I do like some elements from that as well. And I think that when it comes to game design, balance is really a big deal. And I don't mean balance as in game balance. I mean balance in design choices. And I think that having a good mixture of the old school and the new school is important, and so we'll see where that goes. But they have put out a lot of screenshots of the world. They've put out some gifs, and the little gifs one shows combat of a mage, and the other one shows combat of some like melee magic class with a scythe, and I have to say the animations look fucking sick. The animations look pretty cool, and so I mean the game could end up looking like ass. The combat could be asshole. We haven't seen any gameplay yet so far, but from these little snippets that we've seen, I have to say it looks pretty cool. I'm hoping that this game comes out and is like a surprise left hook out of nowhere, and it's something that we can get excited about. I do like open world sandbox games as opposed to traditional theme parks, but at the same time I feel that most sandboxes we've been given over the past 5-6 years haven't been designed well, and so hopefully they're the studio to do it. Now that's where a controversial that's where the controversial point comes in, and the people developing this game, Snell Games. Now that is scary. Depending on what games you've played by them, I do have a friend who really enjoyed the fuck out of Black Gold. I liked Black Gold in the beginning, but I was turned off by the mechs. I felt like the mechs were just such a conflicting design choice in that game. They really threw that game off. But he ended up enjoying it, even though it was super fucking pay to win. From what I heard, there was if you had there wasn't a lot of respec features in that game. So if you built right from the beginning and you kind of hit the right path, you were able to fuck up a lot of these people who were spending thousands of dollars on the game. But still, I do not like pay-to-win systems, and from what I've gathered, they're really going to be trying to not allow this game to be pay-to-win. They're very cautious about their cash shop system, whether there will be a cash shop system, how robust it'll be, what it will offer. It's all up in the air right now. I think they have announced that the game will be buy-to-play, so maybe we'll just be looking at a buy-to-play structure with a few cash shop items. But other than that, go check the trailer out. I'll link the DNL Reddit. I mean, you can find most information about the game on there. I don't know if there's sites up and running right now, so I'm just going to link the Reddit. As far as my expectations for Dark and Light, what I'm hoping to get out of it is I'm just hoping that there's a good balance as far as the theme park and sandbox aspects go. I hope there's enough developer content sprinkled in to keep people interested, and then there's enough freedom and tools for the community to engage and create and drive their own content. I am just only hoping for even a decent or solid combat system. If the combat system's just solid or decent, that's okay for me, as long as it's backed up by a wealthy and, I guess, deep character progression system, to where you can really build your character in many different ways and have freedom to kind of design the character that you want. And I hope that progression has progression is really horizontal as much as it is vertical. I think vertical progression is needed to a degree, but I think most MMOs lean heavier towards vertical progression and don't put near enough horizontal progression in. And along with that, I just hope we have well-designed PvP systems and that people aren't overly punished for engaging in PvP, since they have they have announced that there probably will be PvE and PvP servers. I think the PvE servers will there still might be PvE, but it'll be more consensual. And as far as the PvP servers go, it's more anything goes. So I'll be interested to hear more about that as it goes on. But anyways, that's it for Dark and Light. I hope it's a surprise game. I'm not expecting too much. I'm quite cynical when it comes to MMOs these days. I used to always be super optimistic. I used to be the guy that was always thinking that this next game was gonna deliver. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. And I've gotten burned a lot, so I'm a jaded soul now. Um, but as far as what I'm doing right now, what am I doing right now? I'm not really playing anything. Kind of lying. I guess I am playing WoW. Some of my friends have decided to go back and try the new expansion, and they dragged me along. I still haven't hit level cap. I'm just the leveling in the game and seeing what I have to look forward to at end game. It's just not enough to excite me to really go through the questing system, even though it's really easy to level in WoW, and I think it has been cleaned up a lot since the last expansion. I did go ahead and level in the last expansion. That was the first time I had played WoW since TBC, or Early Wrath of Lich King. But I am not a big fan of the game, and I'm not the biggest Blizzard fan these days. But you do gotta understand, this isn't coming from some biased hatred towards Blizzard. I hate to admit this. I'm gonna go ahead and let the cat out the bag. In my early days of playing MMOs, years ago, I was always afraid to admit this, and I'd always try to give a hipster response and act like and lie about what MMO I started with. But truth be told, WoW was my first MMO. I came in late during vanilla and played through TBC and into early Wrath of Lich King and quit. WoW was my first MMO, and I was so ashamed to admit that. I'd always try to say that I played Dayak and all this other bullshit. But no, I mean, so I definitely do have my nostalgia factor, and going back and playing Horde and going through some of the old places. There definitely are a little bit of rose-colored glasses, but at the same time, I just am not feeling the game these days. So, will I hit cap? We'll see. I'll hit cap. Probably try to play just to make my friends happy. But other than that, I don't look too much. I don't look forward too much to playing in game there. I'm looking forward all the way on to the first closed beta test of Revelations is going to be, I think, on October 25th, and we're supposed to be able to play Dark and Light in closed testing by the end of the year. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Anyways, that's it for my most anticipated upcoming MMOs of 2016. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and be on the lookout for more content.